One of these men is the world's champion cowboy. What is your name, please?
My name's Harry Tompkins.
My name is Harry Tompkins.
My name is Harry Tompkins.
Only one of these people is the real Harry Tompkins. The other two are imposters and will try to fool this panel. Tom Posten, Faye Emerson, Ralph Bellamy, and Polly Bergen on To Tell the Truth with your host, Bud Collyer.
Thank you very much. Thank you, and welcome once again to Tell the Truth. Brought to you this week by Anacin, the headache remedy with a special combination of ingredients to relieve pain, fight depression, and calm jittery nerves. Anacin. Nice to have two old friends back with us tonight. Sitting in for vacationing Kitty Carlisle is lovely Faye Emerson. Faye, welcome.
It's lovely to be here. Thank you.
And next, of course, a panel member of long standing of our show, Ralph Bellamy. Welcome back to you, Ralph.
Thank you, Bud. Nice to be here.
Our panel, for the first time tonight, will you open your affidavit envelopes, take out the cards, and follow along, please, as I read. I, Harry Tompkins, am the world's champion all-around cowboy. Although I am proficient in saddle bronc riding, calf roping, and steer wrestling, my specialty is bull riding, and I have won the world's championship in this event 5 times. My career is rather unusual since I was born, raised, and learned to ride a horse in Peekskill, New York. Signed, Harry Tompkins. And you just heard these 3 gentlemen, each and every one of them claiming to be Harry Tompkins, world's champion cowboy. And we begin this first round of questioning with Tom Posten. Tom?
Thank you, Bud. I'll ask Mr. Tompkins, number 1, what do you tie calf's feet up with after you throw them?
Piggin string.
Could you tell me, Mr. Tompkins, number 1 again, what your term is for throwing that calf in the first place?
Calf rope.
Pardon me?
Calf rope and busting a calf.
Thank you. Thank you. Number 3, Mr. Tompkins, maybe you could tell me what you call a herd of horses, or work horses.
A remuda.
And who's in charge of those? Could you tell us, please? Number 3?
The head cowboy.
Thank you.
Faye?
Well, cowboy number 1, what is the time you can rope and tie a calf in? What's the time?
7 seconds, I suppose.
7 seconds. What is the horse trained to do after you lasso the calf?
Well, a good
calf
roping horse will stop immediately as soon as he feels the pressure on the rope, as soon as he feels it hit the horn.
And is that all he does?
Well, he'll always keep it on there, so if the calf comes towards you, he'll back off.
How far is Peekskill, New York, from New York City?
50 miles.
What is bulldogging?
That's to jump from your horse. You have a Hazen horse who runs along one side. You come up along a steer, grab him, jump off and grab him and pull him down.
Ralph?
Number 3, who was the all-around champion in 1959?
I can't recall. It could have been Jim Shoulders or maybe Casey Tibbs.
Number 1, who was the announcer at the Madison Square Garden Rodeo?
Gee, I don't know.
Number 2, do you know?
I wouldn't know.
Number 3, do you know?
They've had several.
Well, who's the famous one who follows the most of the rodeos and finally ends up at Madison Square Garden?
Abe Lefton.
Nobody knows Bill Tyone.
I know him.
Number 1, how far is the fair line from the chute in calf roping?
20 yards.
20 yards. Number 2, what do you say?
Approximately 20 yards.
Number 3, what do you say?
According to the size of the building.
Size of the building?
Polly?
Number 3, how long did you live in Peekskill, New York?
Oh, about 18 years.
Where did you pick up your accent?
Texas.
Texas, I see. Number 2, there are pair of very famous brothers who operate a lot of rodeos, or rodeos, which is the correct pronunciation, number 2?
Rodeo.
A rodeo? In the West. Could you give me the name of those brothers?
I wouldn't know them offhand.
Number 1, would you know?
Well, the Knight brothers. Harry Knight has a rodeo out there
Could
now.
you name another pair?
Well, Midnight, but he's dead.
Number 3?
Right, that's all we have time for. It's time to vote, panel. So, as usual, without consultation, will you kindly mark your ballots? And as you do so, vote for number 1, number 2, or number 3. The team of challengers, as usual, will receive $250 for every incorrect vote. We all set? All votes in? Okay, Tom, for whom did you vote?
Well, I voted for number 1. My feelings were strong for him on some counts, but number 3 gave some straightforward answers, but I can't believe that the Wrangler would be called the head cowboy. Otherwise, I might have voted for number 3. I don't know. Maybe he can explain it later.
Faye?
Well, that bothered me a little bit, too. I don't know an awful lot about it, but I voted for number 1 because I thought his answers made a lot of sense. He looks like a cowboy to me.
Ralph, your vote.
Number 1. Somewhat because of the way he stood up here before he came down, sort of
He had
cowboy
that
fashion.
peak skill sense, didn't
And he did know a little bit about the brothers. I didn't get much information from any of them, frankly.
And now our chief wrangler, Polly.
Well, I voted for number 1. I must say that I'm almost positive it's number 2. No, I am.
Really, too?
Yeah, I am, because none of us asked him any questions, and because of the 3, he looks the least like the cowboy. I couldn't quite reconcile myself to the fact that number 3 was born and raised in Peekskill and had a Texas accent, which bothered me a little. So I voted for number 1, and I got a real feeling about number 2. I'll just kill myself, I guess.
In the snow. All right, let's see now. The votes are all in. The minds are made up, if you can call that making your mind up. And we'll find out right now which one of these 3 gentlemen is the world's champion cowboy. So will the real Harry Tompkins please stand up? He's from South Peekskill, and that's why that accent came
No,
off.
that sounds reasonable.
Number 1, did you tell us your real name? You got all the votes, and what do you really do?
I'm the editor of World Petroleum Magazine.
And your real name, sir?
In New York City, my name is Gordon Barrows.
You did a good job, sir, I'll tell you that. Did you ever ride a bull in your life?
Once.
That was enough, huh?
That was enough.
Number 2, your real name and what you really do, please.
My name is Charles Heim. I live in Jersey City, and I work for the New York Telephone Company.
Fair enough. We check up the score. We find you fooled the panel 100%. That means, of course, that $250, 4 incorrect votes for a total of $1,000 from Anderson. Not a bad night's visit, I think you'll agree. Also, of course, a gift package of fine products from the makers of Anderson. Thanks for being with us and giving us a lot of fun. Good night, gentlemen. Good luck to you. Now, here's a word about relief of headache pain.
Doctors report most headache pain is caused by tension. Medical surveys report for headache pain, 3 out of 4 doctors recommend the ingredients in Anacin. Of the 4 leading headache remedies, only Anacin has a special ingredient to relax tension. For with tension headaches, pain mounts up. You feel dull, depressed. Tension puts nerves on edge. Aspirin, with its one pain reliever, has no special ingredient to relax tension. Add buffering, still nothing special for tension. Only Anacin of the 4 leading headache remedies has special ingredients to relieve pain fast, help overcome depression fast, relax tension fast. And Anacin is like a doctor's prescription, that is, a combination of ingredients, a particular combination that brings fast relief without upsetting your stomach. Remember, aspirin, even with buffering, has no special ingredient for tension. Take Anacin with ingredients 3 out of 4 doctors recommend. Anacin for fast, incredibly fast relief.
All right, panel, let's meet our next team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Mary Jaffe.
My name is Mary Jaffe.
My name is Mary Jaffe.
Having had a look at the three ladies, will you take a look at your affidavit cards and follow along with me on this one, panel? I, Mary Jaffe, have been a member of the National Ski Patrol for 7 of the 13 years I have been in this country. It is estimated that the volunteer members of the Ski Patrol help some 18,000 injured or lost skiers each year. I was chosen for the Ski Patrol at Squaw Valley during the 1960 Olympic Games. I am a regular member of the Ski Patrol on Mount Baldy in California. So far, I have participated in some 150 rescues. Signed, Mary Jaffe. You heard these three ladies, panel, each one claiming to be Mary Jaffe, National Ski Patrol member, and we'd start this round of questioning with Polly Bergen. Polly?
Thank you, Bud. Number 1, do they really have those great big dogs with the barrel under the chin? They go around giving people drinks and things?
I don't think the brandy's in there.
You mean they go all the way around with an empty barrel on it? Number 2, do they really, are those rescued dogs or whatever?
Oh, yes, they're really rescue dogs.
What do they do? Do they find the people for you?
Yes, they find them.
She says it like she's putting me on.
I think she is.
I think you said it like you were putting them on.
Well, no, listen, don't you always see the pictures of the big, what is St. Bernard, where there was a little barrel and an X on it? Whatever the X stands for. Number 3.
Empty.
Who was the man who came in second in the Olympics at Squaw Valley that takes the great big jump off?
I don't remember his name, but he was German.
Number 1, do you remember?
I don't remember his name.
Tom Posten.
No, it wasn't. I lost. Maybe you could tell me, number 3, where is Miss P2 from? Do you know who Miss P2 is?
She's an American.
You don't know what part of the country?
No.
Just a random question. Can you tell me, number 2, what is a stem turn?
A stem turn is a sort of snow plug. You just use one side of the ski, one ski.
Number 2, what is a Christie?
A Christie is a turn. Name of a turn.
What's a sitz mark, number 2?
It's, a mark where you sit.
Number 1.
Good answer. Faye.
That's what I make. Number 3, what is the most dangerous snow? When do you have your most trouble?
The most dangerous snow is when there is powder snow and the crust on top.
I see.
An icy crust.
Number 2, what is webbling?
I couldn't hear you.
Webbling. Webbling.
It's a sort of a parallel turn, a new Austrian turn for the parallel turn.
Number 1, what sort of rescue methods do you use? What do you do?
A team of 2 take a toboggan down to the injured person and give him first aid.
What?
Ralph?
I think it might be interesting to find out where you're from. I'm sure you'll all be from different places. Number 1, where are you from?
From Japan.
Japan. Number 2?
I'm from Norway.
Norway. Number 3?
I'm from Switzerland. I was born in France.
Number 1, what equipment do you have with you on the ski patrol?
On the person itself?
Yes. No, what equipment do you take with you on patrol?
We have a belt where we have a very light first aid supplies. And then if a toboggan is needed, the toboggan carries more equipment.
Number 2, how much does the equipment in the belt weigh?
Well, I'm not quite sure how much, it is in pounds or ounces, but it's not very heavy, because all the heavy stuff would be in a toboggan.
Number 3, how much...
Afraid that's all we have time for, so take a slalom turn with your ballots and do a little marking, if you will, please. And without consultation, vote for number 1, number 2, or number 3. Getting a long, deep study here this time, especially from Tom and Polly. Ooh, that came hard, didn't it, Tom? All right, for whom did you vote?
That's 2.
That's what?
That's 2. 2 tracks in the snow there.
2 tracks in the snow. That represents the number 2?
Number 2, yeah.
All right.
Because...
Faye.
Is that it?
He jumped off his skis just after he said it. Faye?
Well, I voted for number 3 because I know that's the most dangerous kind of snow. I'm pretty sure it is, the powder on top of the hard crust. And she seems to know a lot about it.
Ralph?
Number 3. No particular reason, she seemed to be a little quicker with the answers. That's about all. They were all very well informed and well coached, but I think number 3 was a little quicker with the answers.
Polly, which one do you think is the real one?
Well, I voted for number 3. I don't know anything about skiing, so the answers to any of the questions that were asked were of no use to me, and I just sort of kept trying to stare at them to see which one looked the least like they would be the one who was it, and voted for them.
Okay. We've taken you through another one now, up to that moment of truth, which is ours, particularly on this show, when we discover which one is the real one. In this case, which one is the real member of the National Ski Patrol. So will the real Mary Jaffe please stand up? I sort of thought that was the one you'd have picked on that very basis of reasoning when you say the one least likely to.
No, I had a real feeling about her all the way through. But there was something about number 3. She looked like she was getting ready, even before we voted, to stand up.
Well, let's find out about the other 2. Number 2, your real name, please, and what you really do.
My real name is Siri Thompson, and I live in Princeton, and I'm a housewife and mother.
And number 3, your real name and what you do, please.
My name is Janine Le Boulanger. I work for IBM World Trade Corporation as a secretary.
Well, it was a great pleasure having you 3 lovely ladies here with us tonight. I hope you had as much fun as we did, because you certainly gave us a good time, and you can see what happened. You fooled them again the second time tonight that this has happened. That means a total of $1,000 from Addison. 4 times an incorrect vote of 250 reaches that total. And, of course, a gift package of fine products from the makers of Addison. Again, thank you for being with us. Good night. God bless you. Now, here is a message of interest if you have ever had acid indigestion or heartburn.
Thank heavens I saw my doctor. I thought I had an ulcer. It was only my acid indigestion. Starting right now, I'm going to help protect my stomach lining with a special medication of Bicidol mints.
Bicidol does what no mere alkalizers can. It not only relieves acid indigestion fast, Bicidol actually coats sensitive stomach lining to help protect against further acid attacks. Ask your doctor.
Bicidol really works.
Get Bicidol mints.
And now, a word about Dristan Nasal Mist.
For sinus congestion and head cold's distress, get Dristan Nasal Mist. First, to show proof of relief with this nasograph. Look, almost no air coming through this victim's nostrils. Now, Dristan Mist sprayed into one nostril. In seconds, it penetrates deep into swollen nasal and sinus passages, promotes sinus drainage, relieves pressure, controls post-nasal drip. Now, the nostril sprayed with Dristan Mist shows free breathing restored. Get Dristan Nasal Mist.
Now, panel, may I introduce our 3rd team of challengers?
What is your name, please?
My name is John McGuire. My name is John McGuire.
My name is John McGuire.
Again, follow along, panel, if you will. I, John McGuire, served aboard PT Boat 109 in the Pacific during World War II. One night on patrol, PT 109 was rammed and sunk by an enemy destroyer. The nearest land was an atoll 5 miles away. Our skipper towed one wounded man the entire distance by holding the straps of the man's life jacket in his teeth. Once on the tiny island, our next job was getting off. At night, our skipper swam out into the channel with a life jacket and a battle lamp in the hope of attracting an Allied ship. On 3 of the 5 nights until we were rescued, he spent from 11 to 14 hours afloat in those dangerous waters. My skipper is now the 35th President of the United States, John Fitzgerald Kennedy. Signed, John McGuire. The stalwart gentlemen this time panel, each one claiming to be John McGuire, member of President Kennedy's PT boat crew. And we'll start this round with Ralph Bellamy. Ralph?
Number one, how long was John Fitzgerald Kennedy skipper of the 109?
Well, we were on this boat for about 3 months prior to the accident.
3 months. Number two, he was replaced, if my information is right. What was the reason he was replaced?
The boat was sunk.
Well,
That's no excuse in
number
this
three?
man's
What
name.
reason was he retired from his command of the group?
Well, he lost the one boat and picked up another boat, I guess 30 days later, and then his back troubled him. He went back.
Polly?
Number one, what is the highest non-commissioned rank in the Navy?
The highest non-commissioned rank?
Right.
The highest non-commissioned rank is a chief petty officer.
Number two, do you agree with that?
Chief petty officer.
Number
Warrant
two.
officer. Beg your pardon.
Number
Warrant
three, what do you say?
Non-commissioned warrant.
Number one, what was the date of this incident?
August the 2nd.
August the 2nd. And where exactly did it happen?
It happened off the Russell Islands.
Russell Islands, where is that located?
That's southwest of Bougainville.
Tom?
Gosh, they all certainly know what they're talking about. Let me see if I can stump. Number three, Lieutenant Commander Brendan Riley checked out PT crews during the war. Can you tell me whether he was stationed on the East Coast or the West Coast?
It's a long time. We were at Melville. A lot of Irishmen, I wouldn't know.
A lot of Irishmen. Number two, do you know where Lieutenant Commander Brendan Riley was stationed?
No, I don't.
Number one, what is the name of the wounded man that our president carried in those beautiful teeth of his?
Pat McMahon.
What was his name?
Pat McMahon.
Another Irishman?
Yes, sir.
This is a segregated PT boat.
Number two, what was your skipper's rank at the time of this? It wasn't an accident, by the way. That Japanese guy meant to do that. I wanted to straighten you out on that one point. What was the rank of your skipper?
I believe he was ensign at the time. Ensign.
Faye?
What is the complement? How many men on a PT boat? Number three, excuse me, sir.
8 enlisted men and 2 officers.
I see. How many were saved? Number two out of the total crew.
11.
I see. The next
They picked up one.
Oh, yeah, they picked up one on the way. Number one, who was the famous, who was the man that everybody in the South Pacific called Jocko Clark? What was his rank?
Jocko Clark?
Clark.
I never heard of him.
Number three, do you know?
He was known as Romeo. He was an admiral. And,
Don't tell us why.
Quite a man.
Time is up. Don't tell us why he was known as Romeo. All right, it's time once again to vote. If you will, please, panel, mark your ballots without consultation and vote as before for number one, number two, or number three.
Do you mind if I just don't care anymore?
I want you to care, Paul.
No, it's too late. I just...
Never too late.
I've got to do more reading.
All set? Tom, for whom did you vote this time?
I don't know. Did I get any right yet?
Tonight?
None of us have. None of us have.
Well, let's keep it a nice, straight record. I voted for number two because I couldn't think of anybody else to vote for.
Faye, which one did you think is the real one this time?
Well, I just have a terrible score tonight, and I might as well compound the felony. I voted for number three because he knew who Admiral Clark was, and he knew the exact complement of a PT bow, I guess. Although number two seemed pretty firm. That's what I said, anyway. Wrong or right?
Ralph, how'd you mark your ballot?
Number three. I hesitated between 2 and 3. 2 corrected an answer and gave some very different answers, but number 3 knew about Admiral Clark, and I don't know, I voted for number 3.
Okay, Polly.
I think it's number 1 because none of us voted for it. And we've all been
But your vote was for number 3.
fairly ignorant tonight, so it must be number 1. But I voted for number 3 because, I don't know, he sort of has an Irish look about him.
Here come the Irish again. All right, let's find out whether we're right or wrong. And quickly, as we discover which one of these gentlemen is the real member of President Kennedy's PT boat crew. Will the real John McGuire please stand up? Thank you,
But
sir,
I'd
very
like
much.
to take this opportunity to apologize to the rest of the panel and to our contestants. I really didn't mean to get you right, sir. It's a mistake.
I think the least you can do is withdraw your vote and stick with the rest of
Well, let's see how the others worked out. Number 1, your real name and what you really do, sir.
My name is P.J. Curran. I'm associated with Diebold Incorporated, manufacturers of bank vaults and safes.
And finally, number 3, your real name and what you do, sir.
My name is Jim Dunleavy, and I'm Vice President of the Toy Division of Gerber Baby Food.
Well, we check our score. That is, I would have checked the score had the signs been left up, but my recollection tells me there were 3 incorrect votes at $250 each, for a grand total of $750 from Anderson and the gift package of fine products from the makers of Anderson. Thanks, gentlemen. We're proud to have had you with us. Good night and good luck to you. Now, something short and sweet from our alternate sponsor, Helene Curtis.
Tender touch, look younger, feel smoother all over with tender touch.
New Dry Skin Bath Oil by Helene Curtis. Add just a touch of Tender Touch to your bath to end dry skin problems. Tender Touch smooths away rough, flaky skin, moisturizes dry skin. Tender Touch seeps deep into thirsty pores, acts like natural skin oils, gives your skin a fresh, dewy look. You look younger, feel smoother all over. Tender Touch bathes birthdays away, protects you with a faint, silky dew, keeps your precious skin oils from evaporating.
Look younger, feel smoother all over with tender touch.
New Dry Skin Bath Oil by Helene Curtis.
Well, that's all the time we have for tonight, but it was a fun one, I think. And,
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, I do.
I'm curious.
It's always fun working with you four. So on that note, good night, panel.
Good night,
Good night, Bud.
Bud Collyer saying good night from Anderson and reminding you to tell the truth. Good night, everybody.
To Tell the Truth is a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production. Skis and ski clothes furnished by Sig Buckmeyer.
The name in our mailbox is Porter,
To our friends, we're Pete and Gladys.
and we're at home next on most of these stations.
Drop in.
To Tell the Truth has been brought to you tonight by Bicidol Powder to settle acid upset stomach and relieve acid indigestion. Connie Olson saying goodnight from To Tell the Truth. This program was pre-recorded.